Selloman boxing, Errol Spence Jr. was brutalized by Terrence Bud Crawford. Is it safe to say that a rematch doesn't make sense because of how dominant the win was? Because of how one-sided it was? Is it safe to say or suggest or reasonable to suggest that Errol Spence should retire? We'll answer those questions today. Stay tuned as we put the spotlight on it. Selloman boxing. Man, oh man. Errol Spence, he got beat up by Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford was sharp. He was strong. Terrence Crawford, all the weaknesses that we've seen in Terrence Crawford before, he fixed them. He was not throwing any looping shots. He was not coming in with his chin in the air. He was sharp. He wasn't just throwing a flicking jab. It was a good, strong, hard jab, well-timed jab. And he was just the better man. Errol Spence, he looked slow. He looked lethargic. He didn't look like he had any power. We didn't see any we didn't see much ring generalship from Spence. So where do we go from here? You know, I've heard quite a few people say that a rematch makes no sense. And I understand why that's being considered. Because it was so one-sided. Because it was so one-sided. It was hard to watch. To be honest, the fight could have been stopped in the 7th. I'm surprised it wasn't stopped sooner because of the clean shots that Errol Spence was taking. There's a lot floating around about people speculating that Errol Spence has residual neurological damage from his car accident. So the question is, should he retire? I understand why that's being considered. And to be honest, as a Spence fan, it was hurtful. It was hurtful. Like, I didn't even turn on social media and really spend time on social media until yesterday. That's how hurt I was. That's how hurt I was. But as I think about it, I'll say this. Errol Spence is not the first top fighter to get beaten. He won't be the last. And when you look at boxing history, there were many great fighters that got beaten when they got to the pinnacle of the sport, and they came back and dominated. I think it's disrespectful for people who have never boxed, like Stephen A. Smith, who have never boxed, to be suggesting retirement when a boxer loses. Listen, I started watching boxing, like really watching boxing, when Floyd Mayweather started boxing. Okay? And it was a great thing to see Floyd Mayweather retire undefeated. All Floyd Mayweather fans were hoping that he retired undefeated, and it was a great thing to see. But man, Floyd's career is not indicative of the sport on a whole, especially historically. We look at many great fighters that took bad losses, knockout losses, smelling salts, have to be shaken, extra precaution taken when lifting them up because of how bad the knockout loss was. We've seen them come back and dominate. We've seen fighters take losses early in their careers and come back and dominate. Man, look, Bernard Hopkins lost his first pro fight, and he's an all-time great. Bernard Hopkins lost his fight on the come up when he was winning. After that first loss, he lost to Roy Jones, and he's still an all-time great. Okay? Lennox Lewis, one of the greatest heavyweights to ever do it. He got knocked out by Oliver McCall. He got knocked out by Hasim Rahman. And guess what? He avenged every loss. Every single loss. Every single loss he did. He revenged. He avenged, rather. The point I'm making is, don't count these boxers out, man. Pacquiao was knocked out multiple times early in his career, and he's an all-time great. All right? Errol Spence Jr., he lost to the pound-for-pound best fighter of our generation. He lost to the best. He lost to the best. And that's okay. That's okay. See, everyone is looking at this as finality on Errol Spence's career, right? But it may just be the beginning. I don't know what's going through his mind. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what his team is telling him. I don't know what his family is telling him. But here's what I would tell Errol Spence if he gets this message. If he ever does, he may never, but failure is an opportunity to become the best version of yourself. The best. Failure gives you perspective that you would never have gotten if you continued to win. Failure gives you the option, the opportunity rather, of breaking down your identity, breaking down your skill set, breaking down your God-given gifts, analyzing who you are, every aspect, and consciously deciding to improve on your person, on yourself. To be honest, I can't wait till Errol Spence comes back. I can't wait till he comes back. He didn't make any excuses, but I can't wait till he comes back. Personally, I don't know if something was going on with him. I don't know if the weight cut was bad. He just looked strange, man. Even in we all know Errol Spence. He has that country accent. He always looks laid back. But he looked strange in the locker room. He looked strange. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to speculate, but I'll say he looked strange. His eyes looked puffy. He looked like he had been fighting before he went into the ring. When he was walking to the ring, his face, it looked like flush red. He looked like he had like a cold sweat or something. He didn't have the energy that he normally has. Be that as it may, from my perspective, it almost looked to me, his eyes looked to me like when Someone has been crying for a long time, and then their eyes get swollen. That's how it looked. It looked like someone was crying for a while, and then their eyes got swollen. He just didn't look himself. I don't know what it was. But the point I'm making is this. Errol Spence has a legendary opportunity. He has a legendary opportunity. He has the opportunity to rebuild himself. He has the opportunity to take a look at everything in his training camp, his training regimen, his skill set, from top to bottom, every punch, every step, every aspect of his IQ. He has an opportunity to scrutinize it. Scrutinize himself, criticize himself. He has the opportunity to look at that fight over and over and say to himself, what must I do to win? He already has the heart. We saw him get up over and over again. You know, Errol Spence, this was his worst performance, but he impressed me. Errol Spence impressed me. You know why? He never asked the question, this question, should I get up? Every time he was knocked down, he got straight up. You never get in your mind that he was contemplating quitting at any point in time. We saw Ryan Garcia contemplating quitting. I'm not knocking Ryan, but I'm just saying it's the truth. We saw him on one knee, and he was asking himself the question, should I continue? We saw the same thing with Luke Campbell when Ryan Garcia, ironically, hurt him with a body shot. You saw the look on his face, should I continue? We never saw that with Errol Spence. He was always determined to get up. Now, we applaud Errol Spence getting up in the fight. But I'll say this. Errol Spence, get up. Get up. Rebuild. Regroup. Recharge. Rethink. And a new Errol Spence will be revealed. All right? Real men become better through failure, through mishaps. It doesn't matter how far the setback. You could be set back as far as Stephen A. Smith's hairline. You just keep going, man. You don't have to prove to anyone who you are. You know who you are. Just get up and demonstrate it. And to all you haters out there, Errol Spence is this and that and blah, blah, blah. Man, look. If Errol Spence has respect, has the respect of the man he fought, y'all should respect him too. Like and subscribe. That's the Selloman spotlight on the issue. And I'm excited to see the truth. I'm excited to see what the future holds for Errol Spence. And like Sizzler says, right? You can't keep a good man down. Blessings.